PMM, uh, do we need to wait for a couple of more minutes or can start?
2 minutes, sir. They're all joining, sir. We can
All
start.
right, all right.
With, like,
All right.
2
I
minutes.
think from the central library also they are
Yes, sir. Yes,
sitting
sir.
there, no? In a group, right?
Uh,
Yep.
no, sir. Like from the library, the students are there in the classroom, sir.
Okay. All right, no worries. So I thought maybe the central library that I see over here is where the students are assembled in the library or at one place, and then they'll be, you know, attending this session.
Yes, sir. But the number of students are more, sir. So we have accommodated them in the
Obviously.
class teacher, sir.
Okay, in the class room only.
Class
All right.
itself, yes, sir.
I got your point. So as and when you find yes to give a go ahead, I'll then start. All right.
Sure, sir. 2 more minutes, sir. I will
Sure,
inform
sure,
the classes.
sure,
Thank you,
sure.
sir.
Thank you.
So very good morning all. So I welcome you all on behalf of the institution. Uh, this workshop will be about SCC online. So we have Mr. Suresh Raina from SCC, who is a senior manager from SCC Learning Center. So a very good morning, sir. I welcome you, sir. So, sir would be taking you through the session on how to access the SEC online. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Padmapriya ma'am, and very warm welcome to all the students who are present today for this session of SCC Online. First and foremost, why do we require legal softwares, especially when we have all the judgments from Supreme Court of India on this website, official website of Supreme Court of India? Then the respective high courts as well as the district courts, you will get all the judgments uploaded over there. And as such, academics and all the other corporates and even lawyers, they purchase this. For one, there should be some importance to it. So what all is that? I'll highlight it here in this session today, and we'll talk about how to do that legal research on this portal, and how to do effective legal research. One is doing the research and then getting huge number of results and then trying to search for the one judgment which is required by you. And doing an effective legal research will reduce the time, reduce the results, and give me the quicker access to them. So all these things we'll delve into today. And let me just share my screen and then we'll start with the session. All right. So here I am sharing my screen. And let's hope, yes, it is visible to all of you. Padmapriya ma'am, you can just confirm me.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
All right. Perfect. So let me just, yes. Start with the data coverage. This is the web page. The web address is www.scconline.com, right? And the full form is Supreme Court Cases Online. Though we started in year 1995 as a publication, we started in 1942 before independence. But as a our own publication, that is SCC Weekly, you will come to know, which will be there in the library maybe. That started from 1969, and this software we started in the year 1995, and we started with Supreme Court. Then gradually over a period of time it evolved. Everybody wanted the other jurisdictions as well, and then we added after 5-6 years the high courts and then tribunals, then some district court judgments, then other secondary material also. So I'll show you the data coverage quickly. In the web edition, that is a product, we have the Supreme Court of India judgments from 1950 till date. And apart from that, we have a Federal Court and Privy Council, which is before independence, and the judgments are from 1872 till 1950. The publications, like the names are Law Weekly, ILR Bombay series, or ILR Lahore series, and all. These are all publishers with whom we have a tie-up, official tie-up, and therefore we are also providing you the exact true print. And what the true print means is the exact image, photo image of the print journal in the physical form. Same way you can get it printed over here in the SCC Online, and which is acceptable in the court, recognized in the court. Now, apart from that, we have all the 25 high courts, some select few landmark judgments from the district courts, then historical courts. Yes, before independence, the apex court was not in place, so we had provinces, and in the provinces, we had these provincial courts like Ajmer, Goa, Kutch, Lahore, Lower Burma, Awadh, Pepsu. Now, you will wonder what this Pepsu means here. It was earlier only Punjab, and therefore Punjab were comprised of what later became new states, Himachal Pradesh, and then Haryana and Punjab. So all clubbed together when they were not a single entity, Pepsu High Court. For that, then you have Peshawar, Rangoon, Sindh, Upper Burma, Vindhya Pradesh, and etc. Now, apart from this, yes, we have the special codes, those codes which are specific to particular area. I would request Butrin to mute the mic. All the participants, as and when you have a query, definitely will attend those also at the end of the session. Again, Durgesh, please unmute. I'm requesting all the participants to mute their mic as of now. And as and when the question and answer starts, yes, of course, you can unmute and ask the question as many as you want, right? I'll not stop you there at that time. Now, tribunals, as I was talking about, they are very specific to a particular area. Airports, economic, regulatory, as you see on top. Then same way, we have the Electricity Commission, we have the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, we have NDPS for narcotics, National Green Tribunal for the environmental related, RERA for real estate, etc. Competition Commission of India, CIC, CAT, that's Central Administrative Tribunal. So all these are very specific to that particular area, right? So these tribunals will be available on this platform, and then the statutory law, that is the base where you get the statutes, and these are the central acts, the state acts, notifications, circulars, etc. Those will be available over here. Then another segment is very important. That is the secondary material from where the actually the law evolved. That is the what should I say, the foundation. Constituent Assembly debates. These all debates were held just under 3 years from 1947 till November 49. But the final constitution was framed and it came into force from 26th of Jan 50. So how it evolved, all those debates in volumes 1 to 12 are available over here. Then we have reports of various commissions and committees. Those reports which were helpful in framing the law. There is some suggestions or amendments, etc. So you also have the law commission reports here from before independence as well as the current ones. Again, as you are all first year students, I would recommend Constituent Assembly debates, law commission reports. You go through them because that will be your foundation laying base rather, and later the rest of the things are to follow. Now, legal articles, these articles we have sourced from 80 plus top scholarly professional journals. So it could be either a publication like Supreme Court journal or Practical Lawyer, one of our own another journal, or leading institutions like Aligarh Law Journal is there. You have GNLU, etc. And other institutions of repute, publishers of repute. You get other view of the law. In judgment, yes, you do read and study and follow that. But if there is any other alternate viewpoint, something else apart from that, so you get these in the form of these articles to broaden your knowledge, to enhance your understanding. So these legal articles are there, and treaties which we have with the other countries, multilateral, bilateral, those are there. Again, I think the host can mute all the participants at one go. There should be an option because every time muting one at a time will be cumbersome. So moving ahead, we have historical trials of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Maharaj Ananda Kumar, and Sir Roger Casement. Then various documents, policy documents from the various departments of the government, like electricity, urban development, energy, education, to name a few. Then we have the entire series of Tagore Law lectures from 1870 till 1942. So all the important aspects in our daily lives, whether it's Hindu marriage act or Muslim law, many things have been touched by Tagore sir, and those lectures are available here. The entire series is there. Then you have also the subscription of the foreign material, where you have the English law. I would again request all the participants to mute their mic so that the rest of the attendees don't get disturbed. And in the English law, we have a collaboration with Incorporated Council of Law Reporting. This is a very leading publication. ICLR is the short form, and they have three prominent publications: Law Reports, weekly law reports, business law reports. They are available from 1865 till date, again with the true print. And of course, we have SAARC countries, East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, United States, Canada, all their Supreme Court judgments, Singapore, those are also available over here, as you can see the list. And apart from that, yes, international materials where the International Court of Justice, human rights commissions for various continents, those are there. We also have World Trade Organization, WTO, and WIPO, that is for domain name, whenever there's a dispute of domain names and all. So those are also available, and foreign acts are also available. And of course, the moot courts. Now, let me quickly move to the login. I have shown you the data coverage, what all is available on this platform, how much of information is available. Now, let's move to the login area, and it's very, very important. Just kindly give your attention here for a minute. First thing is that IP login should be appearing. If the IP login is not appearing, when you click on login, then that means you are not on the same. I think there's a lot of disturbance coming. I would request the host to unmute all the participants if the host
I
can do
request
that.
all the participants to mute yourself.
Ma'am, there's a no, I'll tell you, ma'am. There's a option by which a host can mute all of them, and
Yes,
and
all of
they
them
can't unmute. They can't unmute until unless you give the permission. So
it is done, sir. I would
all
like.
right,
It's
all right,
locked, sir. It's mute. The mute option is made, sir.
perfect. So if it is, but I can still hear some of the noises, background noises still. So I think
Give me a minute, sir.
yeah, there's an admin option where you can mute it. See, in my screen, you can see it. I think you will have that right to mute all. Barring me, or even if I am muted, I can then unmute, and if I am a co-host, and then rest will not be able to. All right, so let's move ahead. I was talking about the login. Now, in the login, IP login is what is important. So some Ajay Arvind is asking for some annotation or something like that. Anyways, I am moving ahead. As far as the IP login is concerned, that is what is required. If you are not having this IP login is not appearing on your login pop-up, you should talk to your IT person or the library to ensure that you are on the same network. That is, the IP login is a must. And post that, the second thing you need to do is you need to enter your email ID, which will be your batch or college email ID, university ID, which you will be entering and clicking on login now. But since you are a first time, a fresh, new registrant, what you need to do is you need to register once. That's a one-time process. So on the bottom, there is a link, register here. You will enter your email ID as your login ID, your full name in the second column, and click on register and login. And the next screen, it will ask you to enter your year of graduation. So if you're enrolled to LLB 3 years course, so you can do the maths and accordingly enter your year of graduation. If you are into integrated course of BLLB 5 years down the line, you'll calculate, and for the LM accordingly. For the staff and the faculties, they can click on skip button over there. There is an option for that. Once you are registered, what you will do is you will enter your ID, registered ID, and click on login now. That's what I am doing right now. And now I'll get access to all the databases that I was talking about. And the first screen that I'll see over here is known as SCC Online Dashboard. And this SCC Online Dashboard, or the main menu, has 3 sections which will appear in a while. As you can see right now, they are Research Plus, My Library, and Links. Now, Research Plus is primarily used for your legal research, whether it's in the form of a word search, whether you want to find by a party name, you have party name in at hand. You can also find by a citation. Now, all the publications have their own format of citations. So this is kind of an address for a judgment. Wherever it is referred or cited, you can just pick that here and search it in citation option. Similarly, we can also search by a section. Suppose I want on Penal Code section 302, all the judgments will be available. Or if you have any specific query in mind, let's say talk about environment or pollution or any other, you will use the word search, etc. So here you are giving an input to the software through these options that are available in the research plus section in the blue color tiles. The second one, that is the My Library, will give you access to all the information, though all the information is so huge, so we had to categorize them. So we have these categories like browse articles, browse action rules, and accordingly, whatever you want to seek or search for or look for, you will get it here. So here you don't give any input. It's just browsing through the information like you do in library. So similarly, in this, we have the moot court resources, which also help you in preparation for your moot court competitions, which are going to be held ahead in your during your course, and that will also help you a lot. So from here now, I'll move to the third option, that is links. Now, links. This will give us links to external websites. We have tied up with Singapore LawNet for Supreme Court judgments from Singapore. We have a collection of Hein Online USA also, which is not subscribed by university, but it is an add-on. If subscribed to, you get 150 plus law review journals from across the globe, Ivy League universities like Stanford, Harvard, etc. Then what we have is the world constitutions, UK law from 1220 till 1870. So all that huge information is in Hein Online in USA. Then we also have the blog, microblogging site of ours, which is a very free access portal where you get legal information, legal news, moot, this law school news, where you get law school news from across the country, law schools, whether it is a moot court competition, a webinar, a seminar, or any other development. You get all of it here. Then EBC Learning is our parent company where you can enroll for short-term online law courses. EBC Web Store, all the catalog will be available and you can just purchase any print journal over here and SCC Online for a renewal of online products, including this one, SCC Online. That's for the user to uh, renew. Now, let's move with the first option here, Research Plus. How do we perform a research? As you are first year students, I'm sure most of you are new to this legal research softwares, but I'm sure 100% each and every person who is attending right now has used Google as we do it in our daily lives. So integral to our daily lives now. So we are used to that kind of search. And let's consider for a moment that this is a Google search engine. And how would we search for a topic? Like I am looking for latest judgment from Supreme Court of India on the topic of corruption, let's say. How we'll do it? We'll type latest judgment from Supreme Court of India on corruption. That's what I will do, right? Now, the entire sentence I have keyed in, again, somebody has unmuted. I would request to mute the mic, please. And then I click on the hit the star search button. Now let's see how many results we get and what all we get here. In the next screen, that is the results screen. In the results screen, I can see that there are around 1275 results. And there's a list, digest note, judgments, bills in parliament, notifications, state notifications, and etc. etc. A lot of documents are there. But the first and foremost is digest notes. Now, what is digest note? I'm sure most of you might have heard it for the first time. Digest note is a summary of law points which have been dealt with in the one judgment. So one judgment can have many law points. So those are all summarized here and provided to you by our editorial team who are legal professionals who prepare them after reading the entire judgment. Now, this digest note is also known as the ratio, summary, gist, head notes, cash notes, etc. etc. There are many names given to it. And this is something I would relate with. Let's say you are daily reading the newspaper. I'm sure most of you must be doing that in the morning as a ritual. And when you go through the paper, you don't read the entire pages. You go through the headlines, and if it interests you, then you read the article. Same goes here. If the digest note is opened, you read it, you find it relevant to your subject, research subject, you proceed with the full text judgment. Otherwise, you skip too quickly to the next law point. That is the essence or the importance of digest notes. Now, apart from the digest notes, we have the judgments, full text judgments from all the jurisdictions, then bills, notifications, etc., etc. So I can see the titles of the documents in the second column. That is what it is meant for. But the first thing that I see here is an article, right? Just give me a sec, 1 sec. So the first thing was an article. I'll just give the message to my colleague. That's it. So first one is an article. Second one is the Supreme Court judgment. Third one is an article. So it's a mix of all the documents. But what I had, the query I had given was latest judgment from Supreme Court of India. But I'm getting a mix of all the documents here. And in the third column, I am seeing the text of that first among the result list, right? This is the standard format. Now, whatever search you do, whether it's party name search or a citation search or a word search, you'll get these three columns. Number one. Number two, to get the Supreme Court judgments, only what I'm doing is in the first column, I'm expanding the judgments heading. Here I am now selecting Supreme Court only. How can I select? After every jurisdiction, there is a only button appearing. I'll click on Supreme Court. In front of Supreme Court, this only button, and therefore the Supreme Court judgments will now be displayed in the result list, nothing else. So I have filtered the jurisdiction, and I can see the latest one is of year 2019. Obviously, it can't be the latest. So I'll opt for one sort option here, known as sort by in the result list. There are 3-4 methods by which I can sort. I use this option of latest first. Now the software will chronologically place them latest first on top, and this is of 17th of August 22. The other one is of 27th of July 22. The third one huge gap of 6 months, 7th of January 22. Right? Let's remember these 2-3 things, and the total number of hits is 1275. Out of which Supreme Court is 109. Now, how to go back to the main menu? One usual method is to click on back arrow. But since this screen came from search, we type the search, then we get the results and all. So that many clicks I'll have to take back to the main menu. So to avoid these extra clicks, I have one option here known as icon here known as dashboard. That's very top on the top of your screen icons that you see. 3 dots, 3 lines. You click on, and from any screen you will get the main menu or the dashboard back. Now I click back the off for the word search again. I need not retype the previous search. Those are all saved over here. I retrieve the latest one or the last one. Now I remember latest judgment I can get from the sort by option. Supreme Court of India I'll get from the by clicking on the only button, so that that is also taken care of. So what I'm left with the main query, that is corruption. So that is how you should search in SCC. You don't have to give all the detailing because it has inbuilt tools. Now those inbuilt tools like filtering the jurisdiction, sorting the data is all available here, that which is not possible in your Google. In the beginning, I told you now that this judgments are available on the portals, but how can you do the rest of the nitty-gritties or the refinements? That's possible only in the softwares, legal softwares that you have. Now I go back to the digest note. I click on the Supreme Court only. Instead of 109, I have 2200 plus now. So I was missing on such a huge chunk of information. So what does that mean? The more detailing you do, lesser results you get. The less you detail, I mean, you focus on the main law point or keyword, you get better result or best results or more results. Now again, I'll use the sort by option. Click on latest first, and now it will rearrange again chronologically latest first, and you can see 19th of September. Today is 23rd, so I'm getting 19th of September 22, one judgment. Then another one again on from September, 14 September, 8 September, 5th September. I was missing out on all of these. Then comes August. So you can imagine how much of information I was losing, and it could be at times very crucial while we are arguing in the court. And I, as a researcher, say this August judgment is the latest, and the other party says no, no, this is not the latest. I have got 19 September here, sir. It could be embarrassing if not affecting your case. So to do research properly, you need to follow these rules. Number one. Number two, when I have a phrase like human rights, consumer protection, public interest litigation, how should I search that? Obviously, I'll type the phrase. Now I'm typing public interest litigation. Now this public interest litigation being a phrase, of course, but when I start the search, the software will search them separately as well. So public in one para, litigation in last para. I don't want that. I want it to be searched together as one word. So I'll put double inverted commas in the beginning and end of any phrase, whether it's human rights, it's consumer protection, or public interest litigation, like in this case. Now I'll start the search and I'll get results on PIL, right? And in the software, what you can do, you can perform a focus search. Focus search means there was plethora of information in the beginning, lakhs of judgments. Out of that, I have now focused and pulled up only public interest litigation case laws. Now within this, if I want to further perform a search, I'll not go back to the word search. I'll search within the search. And how I'll do that? And just below the SCC online logo, there's a search within search option. So I'm typing corruption, let's say, and I'll start the search. So PL judgments, within those PL judgments, corruption has been filtered out. Within this, if I want to perform another search, I can go up to 6 levels. I can perform this sub search. So on vigilance, so from here, it will reduce it further. And in between, if you want to modify a step, you don't have to redo all the 3 steps. Just click on the cross mark in this step number 2. It will get removed. Third step will become second step. Obviously, there will be an increment in the results here. Then you perform the modified search. So from corruption, let's say criminal, and it will do the needful for us. So search within search is possible over here. Now let's move back to the dashboard. Basic searches, simple searches, but there are so many other things to look for here. If I want to know the definition of a legal word or a phrase, how can I do that? Go to this option of last option of words and phrases. And when I click on words and phrases, it prompts me to enter the word or phrase of whom I want a definition. I type bail, very basic and simple. And on the bottom window, you will find the definition, which is either sourced from the statutory law. We are not writing and preparing these definitions on our own. They are sourced from legal sources like the statutory law or the judgments of Supreme Court. As you can see over here, the bail was defined first time in a judgment, Indian Supreme Court, A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras, year 1950. Then another definition on the topic of bail, Vaman Narayan Ghia versus State of Rajasthan. I'm trying to highlight this one as well for you. And then the citation is hyperlinked. If you click on that, it will open the entire full text judgment of this in a new window for you. Then there's a third definition on the topic of bail from Deepak Subhash Chandra Mehta versus CBI. And you will also find abbreviation WHART in square brackets. So that means it is a source from Wharton UK dictionary, the definition. So these are all authentic sources. You will find the definitions of legal words in the under the words and phrases option. And here, if you have a phrase to look for as far as the definition, you don't need to put it in double inverted commas. That's required in the word search. Similarly, I can also find by topic, as we can see in word search. Same way our editorial has prepared the topics. You click and get the documents on that. So get the judgment. So I'll just move on to the next one. That is find by party name. Now, in party name, you have two ways to search. One is I know the party name. The other one is I don't know the party name. I have a very famous name with me, which is made famous by the media, but the actual party gets eclipsed. Now you have Sabrimala, You have triple talaq, you have Ayodhya, you have PMW hit and run case, Jessica Lal murder case, and so on. These are not party names. So what I do is I'll type it under the search by famous case names, the second option. The moment I typed Sabri, it gave me the suggestion women entry in Sabrimala. I select that, I click on find case. The software will decode and show me the actual party name, that is Indian Young Lawyers Association versus Sabrimala. This is one way of finding the famous case names, right? And the next one is where I know the party name. I'll go to the traditional method. I'll search by party name. The first thing it asks is the jurisdiction. I'm not sure whether it's Chennai or Bangalore, let's say. So I have a doubt, I dilemma. I opt for all jurisdiction. Right now, here I am prompted to enter the party name. I am typing SP Gupta, let's say, and I start the search find case. And on the bottom, I can see a huge list of around 208, which is very difficult from here to get the one search among this huge list. So what I can do is I can enter the other party name, that is Union of India. Partially I have typed only Union. Between the two party names, no v dot or versus, just one blank space, and click on find case. And now it has reduced significantly to 8 only, and I can easily find the one that I'm looking for, that is the CR 1981 judgment of SP Gupta versus Union of India. I double click on the citation. The software will now display the judgment. And of course, apart from the judgment, I have the digest notes which are prepared for this case law by our editorial. They are 52 in number, as you can see in the first column. Now, in the second column, it's showing me the title of the judgment along with the judgment date and a couple of labels in the center. And what they denote? J denotes that this is a full text judgment, and 7 is the quorum strength or the bench strength. Similarly, at serial number 2, the label changes to D, which denotes that this is a digest note, and 7 is a quorum strength. Sometimes you find A, that's an article, you find N, that's a notification, and so on and so forth. Now, in the third column, I can see the text of the entire judgment, right? And the 7 judges who are on this bench, all of their names are in bold, which denotes that all of them have written or authored this judgment. They penned this judgment. There will be occasions when out of 7 only 5 are in bold, 2 are in normal font, means they have not written anything, but they have concurred with the others, agreed with the other judges. That's one. Now, second thing is, I don't want to go through the traditional way of start reading from the beginning. I am interested in reading the judgment portion of, let's say, Justice Venkatramaya, for example. I can just click on his name and it'll jump to that particular line from where his judgment starts. Clicking on his name again will take me back to the previous top page. I mean, the top of the judgment. Now I can save this judgment, I can mail this judgment, and I can print this judgment. When it comes to print, you'll find two ways to print: true print and a non-true print. True print means what? It will give me the exact photo image of the print journal that I told you. Let us take a print out of 2-3 pages and see how it looks like. When I select the page numbers, it will now generate a PDF. This PDF will be an image of the print journal that you have in a library. So it will be authenticated by SCC Online True Print watermark, name of the licensee, date and time on which it was printed. It starts from page number 87 of the original print. So it begins with that, and it retains the same paragraphing, pagination, everything. So that's why it's known as a true print, and why we've kept it is because it is acceptable in the court of law. So when you take a true print, you can present it straight away. If you don't, then where should I use this non-true print? Non-true print is like an HTML page that you're seeing right now on your screen. It will not retain the same pagination and paragraphing. Therefore, it can be used only for office copy purpose. Now, if I want to copy a paragraph or two from this judgment and paste it in my draft, can I do that? Yes, of course I can do that, but I can't use the manual method of highlighting with the mouse and using the shortcut Control-C, Control-V. So what is the other way by which I can copy the paragraphs, and why I can't use the manual method? Because editorial has given its inputs apart from the plain judgment, the full text judgment. So you have the digest notes, the catch notes, and the other remarks. Those are copy protected. But judgment being in the public domain, we do allow to copy the paragraphs from judgment, and there is a specific way or method for that. Before every para number, there's a clipboard icon. You click it once, you will notice that a green tick is appearing. Though these paras are getting selected for copying purpose. Once you select the paras, then you click on this icon, fourth icon in the third column known as Smart Copy. One click, and all these paras get extracted in a new window. These are now editable. I can mail it across to myself or my colleague. Each para will have the source, that is the party name and a citation. And here, if I want to perform a manual copy paste, I can do that as well. So that is the smart copy feature. And apart from that, what else we have here is this judgment has 52 law points, as you can see in the first column. And in the third column where the text is appearing, it's mentioned on top, partly overruled in Supreme Court advocates on record association. What does that mean? That means this judgment, out of all these 52 law points, some of the law points are not a good law anymore. And why so? Because at the time of 81, what the law was and how it was, that judgment was delivered at that particular time. That time it was a relevant law. But over a period of time, in the similar line of law, when you approach with the citations, law depends on precedents, the previous cases. And if they are in your favor, going in your favor, you'll definitely cite them. So while citing them, there could be changes in the law, and then therefore that might be not a good law, or it is redundant now, sort of. So they are known as overruled law points. But remember one thing, in Supreme Court, not the entire judgment is overruled at all, but only few law points can be, and that is the case here. And as a researcher or as a lawyer or a professional, you have to be very cautious not to cite these overruled law points in your case, because that will be detrimental. That will be a negative. So how to ensure that the overall law points, how I can get and I need not cite them? One way is you scroll down the second column where the digest notes titles are appearing with the catch words. And in this serial number 22, you find there is an additional label appearing in the form of a red circle with an exclamation mark, which denotes that this particular law point has been overruled. And similarly, there could be more than one. So you keep on scrolling and look for one. That's slightly cumbersome or time consuming. What I can do is quicker method. I'll type overruled in search within search. So when I type overruled in search within search, the software will filter out the overruled law points and place them in the second column. But over here, out of 5, the first one doesn't have a red circle and the last one doesn't have a red circle. So why they are appearing here? Because they are not overruled. Overruled is mentioned somewhere in between. The judgment or the law point itself is not overruled, but the rest of the 3 are, because they have this indicator. Now, when I click on this serial number 2, the overruled law point is appearing. It's on Article 217(1), power of appointment of judges of High Court held executive in nature and rests in President. As for former Justice Bhagwati, his opinion on this law point. Then again, the next judge, Justice Fazal Ali's opinion on this law point, Justice Desai's opinion, Justice Pathak's opinion, Justice Venkatramay's opinion. So out of 7, 5 judges have given their opinion on this particular law point. And in which case law it has been overruled? It has been overruled in the 1993 case, that is Supreme Court of Advocates on Record Association versus Union of India. So you come to know about all these informations, or these inputs are given to you by our editorial team after doing the thorough legal research. That's how the legal softwares are advantageous. You can't get all these informations in the free websites and all. Now, one more important aspect is I want to also see those judgments where this SP Gupta citation has been or this case law has been referred. So there is a case reference icon here, third icon in the third column, as you can see, with a lens and a background. One click on this and within no time I'll get judgments from all the jurisdictions where SP Gupta has been cited. Now, the first one is of the year 1982, which is on constitutional law, separation of powers, and I can see the reference of SP Gupta. Means to understand this more on, to shed more light on this law point, you can read SP Gupta. Similarly, when I open the next one, that is Harshad Mehta versus State of Maharashtra. and I click on this arrow to jump to that particular line where the citation is appearing, you will see that you'll notice that on the bottom it's mentioned SP Gupta has been referred to. So these treatments you will during your course come to know about these, what they are all about. In this case, SP Gupta has been referred. This could also be distinguished, followed on, cited, etc. So these are all treatments given to that particular judgment within the judgment where it is cited. You'll come to know that. So these are all pearls of wisdom that have been brought here by our editorial for you. As a researcher, it helps you a lot. Now let's move back to the dashboard. We've seen find by party name. Similarly, we can also find by citation. Now, citation is exactly the address of a judgment, and every publication has its own format of citations. As you can see the list, which is 200 plus. We have tied up with regional publications like DRJ for Delhi, Maharashtra Law Journal, MP Law Journal, CHN for West Bengal, and lot many are there. If you go by the regional ones, I think we have Madras Law Journal, and there is another one. There's another one. I'm not remembering the abbreviation of at this particular time, but then it's not possible to tie up with all the publishers. I hope you agree. I'm sure you'll agree. Now, similarly, you know, AIR, it's again a publisher, leading publisher. We don't have a tie up with them. But as a user or researcher, if you have an AIR citation, can you search in SCC? Yes, of course. We have the formats over here. So I am entering the year, and the page index will appear on its own. Now, page index is from where the judgment starts. So in this volume 22, Supreme Court of AIR, from page number 1, the first judgment starts and ends at 29, and from page 30, the next judgment is printed. So now I'm selecting the first page and clicking on Get Citation. It will open the judgment for me, full text judgment for me, and the judgment will have the SCC citation on top. But how did I reach here then? When I open the digest note, that's where we have kept the additional information, that is the equivalent citation as well. So P. Gopala Krishna versus State of Kerala, this judgment was published in SCC, but it was also published in AIR, Criminal Law Journal, KLT, AIC, that's all India cases. So these equivalent citations have been kept here by our editorial after, reading through all these publications wherever the same judgment is being published. So it's mapped, and these are called equivalent citations for a user. This is the benefit. From any citation, he can search here. Then we have the last option left here, that is find case law by a section. It's the act name has to be first entered. Let's take a contract act in this case, and the entire section list of the contract act appears. Now I want judgments on section 17 fraud defined. I'll double click on the section, and of course I'll get judgments from all the jurisdictions on section 17 of the contract act. It's as simple as that. Now let's move back to the dashboard. What if I've completed the research plus section, which is the most important segment over here. Of course, we'll go to the my library also and then proceed with the question and answer round. Now here, if you have a sentence to search upon, as you've seen in the previous, in the beginning, when I said latest judgment from Supreme Court, there the tools are there, of course. But what about generics query? It's sometimes you put up a question and expect an answer. That's not how the judgment or the judge gives the judgment. No question answers. It's a judgment. It's a judgment. So, but we as researchers or as users, we tend to have this, thing that we start querying. Will long possession of a property uh, taken care by a caretaker or a servant entitle him to the ownership and all. So this is a very entire sentence as such. If I start typing in SCC, it searches for all the words. So all the words wherever they are appearing, if they are appearing in the document, it will show up. But it's not necessarily the same way I have written the sentence, it will be mentioned in the judgment. There could be slight deviation, but meaning in essence would remain the same. I'm sure you'll agree on this point. And therefore, I might get the judgment, I might not get the judgment in the results. So what to do? Don't enter the entire sentence and focus on the main keywords. What was that? One was long possession. Being a phrase, I'll put it in double inverted commas. What was the next one? It was a property in question. And long possession property, but who was taking care of it? A caretaker, let's say. And that's it. Instead of the entire sentence, if you notice on the bottom, somebody's already searched it and it's giving me this suggestion. Caretaker or agent can never acquire interest in property respective of long possession. When if I type this and start the search, will I get judgments? Yes, I'll get. But what will happen is that these words might be appearing within a sentence, like in this case, Kolkata, even by long possession of years or decades, such person would not acquire any right of interest. Perfect. Same with the second one, third one, perfect. But when I move to the fourth one, things start going haywire. Here it is picking off in one para, caretaker in some other context, in let's say seventh para, and then long possession in some other para. So you'll get these many judgments, lot of them here. So it is like, searching for your judgment, in a huge chunk, or you can say this phrase, searching for a needle in a haystack. We don't want that, because as a research tool, it should help us. It should enable us. So rather than it is depriving us. So what we'll do is, instead of the entire sentence that is there, I'm pulling it up again. I'll keep caretaker, and the joining words or agent can never acquire interest, etc. I'll remove. Property I'll keep, and long possession I'll keep, irrespective of his, etc. I'll also remove. Long possession being a phrase, I'll put it in double inverted commas. So if I start the search, will I get the results now? Yes, but again, these three keywords might not necessarily be part of a sentence. So how can I get it within a sentence? All these three keywords. I'll use one operator. Boolean operator is called as near in capital letters. What this near will do, if I scroll down bottom, it says near means 10 words range, which I can increase to maximum 20 or less than 10 as well. Means these keywords will be searched within 10 words. So within a sentence, I can say. Now let's start a search and see the results. So this is how you will frame queries when you are having a sentence. So it says the first judgment itself, if I read, it says plaintiff who had number one, plaintiff who had pleaded himself to a caretaker servant has no interest in the subject property irrespective of long possession. And if you go through the entire list, all of them, in all of these three keywords will be appearing within a sentence, and therefore I am also not bothered or worried how the sentence has been framed, because I am focusing on the main law point. It is giving me the results that I want. So let's move back to the dashboard. We have finished the search plus section. I'll show you some of the features in my library. Rest you can self explore. It's a very easy section. You just browse through the information. I'll start with browse acts and rules, where you get the central act, the state acts notification. But in central acts, you'll be getting some additional information, some additional input. And what is that? You will be getting citations, judgment citation references within the BAR Act. Now, first thing, you can save, mail and print this BAR Act at one go. When I browse through the chapters and parts, you'll find these blue highlighted lines. So what are these? This is an additional info I was talking about. There's a citation of Union of India versus T.R. Verma, AIR 1957. So on the topic of applicability, the commentary that you see here is also picked from the same judgment. And there are 4 or 5 citation references on applicability, then one on natural justice. The rest of the BAR Act you will find as it is here. And at regular intervals, these highlighted lines will be there under various chapters and sections. So on evidence, on interpretation, construction, standard of proof, fact, evaluation of evidence, etc., we have at least one citation reference over here. And imagine if I type evaluation of evidence as a phrase in the word search, I'll get hundreds of judgments. Here only one has been given to you, because that will shed the maximum light on that particular subject in the judgment. So the practical applicability of evaluation of evidence can be well understood in State of Assam versus Raman Deora, and the citation is there. If you click on that, it will open it in a new window. I can read the full judgment as such, close it, and you're back to the previous screen. So this is additional information apart from the BAR. Similarly, I have the articles I was talking about in the beginning. In the data coverage, 80 plus law review journal, professional journals are there, and from leading national law universities, institutions, and publications. You can just go through the index and click on one document title and it'll display that in the second column. Or otherwise, if you have the topic in mind, you can just simply type it over here. Let's say climate change. I searched in the filter and clicked on search. It gave me one from Developing World Review on Trade and Competition, where the climate change is title of the article. Similarly, a second one is from Environment Law and Practice Review, and so on and so forth. These are all the leading publications, institutions from where the articles are being sourced. Then we have the secondary materials, as I was talking about in the beginning. We also have bills in Parliament, which were introduced or passed in both the houses. Then the constitutional documents have the entire Constituent Assembly debates, volumes 1 to 12. And there is also an index, and how useful it is. See, when the draft was placed in the assembly, there were clauses, right? So the clause numbers you see in the first column. So 5A, after deliberation, when the final constitution was framed, became 6. 5AA became 7. 5B became 8, clause number 8 in the constitution. And when it was discussed, that date is there. And when it was finally passed, that date is there in the third column. And corresponding volumes that you see there, also you have the year of, the date of passing this as a final constitution is there. You can match it with the index, so you get to know which clause it's talking about. And when you open it, it will show you the draft clause as well as the final constitution clause. Both are embedded in the same document. So it gives you the perspective also how it evolved in one document. Now, apart from that, yes, moot court resources where you get the propositions. They're not cases, though they are cases only. So these moot propositions or problems, that way they call, you will have first thing that on which it has to be moot court has to be debated. And then finally, you have the winning team memos from both the sides. So it will help you in preparation when you are, preparing for your moot court competitions. Then you can avail this facility of moot court resources over there. Now, apart from this, yes, what else we have? Just one sec. Why it's stuck? Oh, I think the internet is giving us some trouble. Just one sec. Yeah, it's now appearing. So we have the moot court resources, and one thing I would like to show you in the end, and then we'll open the question and answer round, is browse legal business news and how it is going to be useful. See, everywhere from every jurisdiction, there are few judgments which are very important to this society in general and for our day-to-day living, and also as far as the other areas are concerned. So these important judgments, if you start reading on a daily basis, it's practically not possible. You have to attend classes, you have to do so many other courses, you can't. But here in the legal business news, our editorials prepared the what you call commentaries of these judgments from all the jurisdictions, whether Supreme Court, High Court, or even foreign courts. And the index is available year-wise, month-wise, and date-wise. So if I browse through one, let's say we are on 23rd, and we have already uploaded one on 22nd of September, which was delivered over there. And then for each date, you will have at least 1, 2, or 3 entries, right? And when you click on one, it will be the subject line, explain determination of juvenility, hierarchy of documents that can be relied on, belated plea if can be allowed, bone ossification test at a belated stage. Now, this is a bench of Justice Maheshwar and Justice Pardiwala. And what was the juvenility documentary evidence? That has the commentary has been prepared by our editorial. Which documents can be relied on? That's mentioned over there. Determination of plea of juvenility at a belated stage, bone ossification test at a belated stage. And at the bottom, if you're interested in now reading the entire judgment, you can click on the citation. There is a party name and citation available here. That way, you keep yourself abreast with the latest what is happening across all the judiciaries. Now, I think Padma Priya ma'am, we can now open the question and answer round. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So over to you, students, and ma'am, you can now unmute all the participants now, and they can ask or put it in the chat as they like, and then we'll answer them one by one.
Students, if you have any doubt, you can ask now.
I guess being new to the system, or they'll now start using it. That's why there's so much of silence. Initially, there was a lot of noise, and now everybody is silent right now. But what I would advise, if you have any doubt or queries, please be bold enough to express, because in this, yes, I can see a text over here. Yes, one chat is appearing. How can I classify the judgment? See, when it comes to classification, whether it is a civil case or a criminal case, there will be a writ petition number, there will be a civil appeal number. That is as simple as that. Whenever you open a judgment, in on top it will have that criminal appeal number, civil appeal number, SLP number, etc. You will come to know, and accordingly you will see the categories. Here, the categorization is on the basis of jurisdictions, on the basis of other databases that we have, whether you want to read an article or a notification, etc., you'll get that way. But as far as judgments are to be classified broadly, they are into falling into two categories, as you must be knowing, civil or criminal. So accordingly, you will be able to read that at the beginning of the judgment. I hope that answers your query.
Can we access this website?
See, as far as the access is concerned, you're getting a free access because it has been purchased by the university, and obviously you don't have to pay anything. It's part of your course. And as far as after you are graduating from here, of course, you will have to go for a subscription at that time. So right now you don't need to worry about that. What is the subscription? Because the rates and prices also change every year. So I can't tell you what the rate is today, and after your graduation, it will be something else. So it should not be bothered right now. But as far as the access within the college or the within the premises is concerned, it's all free to the students. And how to register? In the beginning, I had shown you the process. You go to the login, and on the bottom there's a register here link. You click on that, and that's it. You will be prompted to register your email ID as your login ID and your name, and put year of graduation, and that's it. And it's a one-time process. So next time you'll straight away enter your ID, no password it will ask, as when you are logging through the IP login. And that's it. I hope, Srinivasan, that answers your query. All right. So
Students, do you have any other doubts? You can also unmute yourself now.
No, ma'am.
all right. So what I'll do is I'll quickly show you the last option over here. That is help feature, that is in the form of a question mark, the third icon from top. There's an option of view user manual, and when you click on this view user manual, what happens that it will open a help page, new help page. I don't know why it's not displaying that. Let me try here. It'll, oh sorry, something else is appearing. Help dot SCC online dot, right, that's the one. So this help page, when you click on that question mark, will prompt you to enter the query in the help center. So if I'm looking for, let's say, search, on search I want help, there will be some videos, some text examples. You can just understand that here, right here. That's one part. And we also have the categories here in the help center, which is in the second half of the page. There are 5-6 topics if you want to know more about search methods, I have briefed you with the near operator and words and phrases and all. If you remember, if I click on this near, it will now illustrate that with an example. Here it's giving an example of murder, near knife, and then how the word range is to be set, and how the result list looks like. And one more option is there of webinars. We did this last year pandemic. So some 7-8 recording links are available here. And you can watch them later. I want to know more about, let's say, advanced search. I'll brief with you the title, and on the bottom there is the link to the YouTube channel. All right. So I think Padma PMM,
Yes, sir.
if there are no further queries, then okay, Maheshwar is there, and Maheshwar has also put, he's the representative at Chennai. So he's provided his contact number also, and I can also put the email ID of our department, so that if students have any query in future, they can mail it to us. That is learning@scconline.com, and there is a toll-free number also, which is available from Monday through Saturday from 8 in the morning till 10 in the morning till 8 in the evening. So the dedicated backend team is there to help you also in that. And of course, you can also, I would recommend that you yourself go through that. That is in the third section. There is a SCC online blog. I'm just leaving with this page over here of the SCC online blog, which will give you a lot of information, editorial opinions, articles to read. Then you have the law school news that I was talking about, where you get moot court announcements, ADR debate competitions, live blogging, call for papers, etc., etc. So huge information, free access, no ID, no password. And now I'm stopping the sharing of my screen, ma'am, and over to you, Pradma PM.
Good afternoon, all. On behalf of Wales Institute of Science and Technology, I would take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. At the outset, I would like to thank Mr. Rajesh Raina.
Pleasure,
Thank you for the enlightening session, sir. I hope our students will use the platform in the right way and gain a lot of knowledge from the same. I would also like to thank our management and our uh, Dean Dr. Ambika Kumari ma'am. Thank you very much. My heartfelt thanks to all the students for their active participation, for this warm words and kind message. We would like to move to the end of this session. Thank you all.
Thank you, Padma Priya ma'am. And of course, last but not least, the students for listening and attending to it patiently. And I would also like to thank the librarian, Mr. Suresh Kumar, who made this possible for arranging it all. Thank you all once again, and have a great day ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.